Hi there, I'm Ken, and today I'm going to show you one of the levels in my game LogicBots. Now in this particular level, you have to design a robot which can follow a black line from the start to the finish. Now this isn't just a straight black line, this is a curvy black line, so your robot's going to have to be able to read the black line and be able to turn left and right depending on which way the black line is curving. Now to start with, you first need to build the physical part of your robot. And to do this, we first select a main body. Now this is the core part of your robot, and it's what the rest of your robot is built around. It also dictates what circuit board you have, but I'll come to that later. Now for this particular level, I'm going to choose this central main body, as I think it fits the part the best. Although you could quite easily use the other two, they would both work. So I've selected this one, and now you'll see when I hover over the stand, you get the main body being ghosted over the stand. I can either delete this or I can left click and accept it and it'll be placed on the stand. Right, so we now have our main body placed. You'll now see that these other buttons have become available, so we can now use them. One of them is the wheels button, so let's add some wheels to our robot now. Right, we've got a selection here of wheels. I'm going to choose this first one here, the medium pneumatic wheel, as it's slightly smaller than this one, and I think it's more suiting to this main body. So as you can see, we can place this part anywhere we like. You can change the height of it as well, so if we just do here, so it's further away or closer. I'm going to want it as close as possible for this robot. So you just line it up, and then left click when you're happy, and the ghosted part will become the actual part. So there we go. And now you'll see another menu's popped up. We have an option whether to connect it to the left motor, the right motor, or the free wheel. Now this menu here will change depending on what main body you've selected. This particular main body has a left motor and a right motor. Now all the left motor does is the forward direction for the left motor is anti-clockwise and the forward direction for the right motor is clockwise. So let's connect it to the left motor as we have put it on the left hand side of the robot. You'll see this third one here, freewheel. That's just would leave your wheel, unattached to any motor, so it would just rotate freely. But for this one, it's going on the left wheel. So let's go around to the other side, and I'm going to connect another one of these wheels of the same type, in about the same position on the other side, and I'll connect that to the right motor. Now, because we're following a black line, I want this robot to be able to turn left and right really sharply, so I'm going to make it very maneuverable. So to do this, I'm going to add a third wheel, which is going to be a caster wheel, and I'm going to put that under the center at the front. So you'll now see that this robot will be able to spin left and right really quickly. So we need to add some sensors now so the robot can detect the black line and react to it. So we click the sensors button. We have a few different options here, but for detecting a black line, I'm going to use this single line sensor. Now this line sensor will output a value of true whenever it detects a black line, and false if it doesn't see a black line. So it's a bit of a color sensor in a way, but it only reacts to black and white. So we'll just line it up so it's pointing down at the ground so it can see the black line. I think about there will do. So left click to accept, and you'll now see another menu's popped up. Now this is asking what input I want to connect the sensor to. Now this again is related to your main body's circuit board, and this particular main body has 4 inputs on its circuit board, so we can connect it to any one of the 4 inputs on the circuit board. I've placed this on the right hand side of the robot with respect to the robot, and I like to put the right hand side input onto input 2. So collect that, and now we want to put another one of these line sensors on the other side of the robot. So we'll just spin it round, and about there looks good. And now you see that input 2 is now blanked out. Now that's because obviously we've got the other sensor already connected to input 2, and we obviously can't connect something that's already been connected. So let's connect this one to input 1. There we go. And now we have both of our sensors on our robot. So that's the construction of the robot finished for this level, or at least I think that should do. So I'll press start and we'll see what it looks like. Our robot's just dropped in and you can see it's doing nothing. Well, this is because we haven't told it what to do yet. So we need to go back and tell it what to do. Okay, let's hit the circuit board button and head over to the circuit board. Right, we're here now on circuit board view. You can see we've got our 4 inputs down the left hand side and down the right hand side. And we have our 4 outputs which are connected. The top one to the left motor for turning it on and off, the second one for the left motor direction, give it a value of on and you'll reverse the direction of the motor, and then the same again for the right motor. So now we need to think what we need our robot to do. Well, connected to input 1, that's where we connected our left hand sensor, and connected to input 2 is where we connected our right hand sensor. Now these sensors will give out a value of true to these inputs when they detect a black line, and false if they don't detect the black line. So if the left hand one is detecting the black line, that must mean that the robot has shifted across to the right hand side of the black line and is coming off the black line to the right. So we need the robot to turn left to correct itself and get itself on the black line. Now how can we do that? Well, to do that, to get the robot to turn left, if we have the left motor off and the right motor on, that means the right will come forwards and the robot will turn left. So let's do that. So we'll link this one up, wiring it up here, and we'll link it directly up to the right motor. Now, by that logic that we've just used for the left hand side, we can do the exact opposite for the right hand side, and we'll wire that straight up to the left motor. There we go. So let's hit start and see what happens. And there's the robot going. But it seems to have stopped still. Now, why is this happening? It went forward here, and then it stopped. Well, the line's really wide here, so both sensors were picking up the black line. But as you see, it's gone further forward. And now this sensor must be slightly to the right of the black line, and this one must be slightly to the left. So it's not detecting anything, and therefore the robot is not moving. So let's head back to the circuit board. So we want to add a third rule now. We want to say if both of these are false, we want both motors to be on. Right, how can we do that? Well, first of all, we're going to need to split these inputs because we need to do more than one thing with them. Now, to do this, we can just add a signal splitter. Now, what this does is it takes whatever input it gets and duplicates it. So if this is on, we now have on twice, and this is off, we now have off twice. So let's do that to both of them. There we go. Right. But we're now going to have the problem. Oh, we'll come to that in a bit. So we said if they're both false, we want it to drive straight forward. So how can we detect if they're both false? Well, let's have a look at our logic gates now. Now, these all have different truths. Let's look at the AND gate. So this one's true if both outputs are true. So that's not what we want, because we want it to be true when both outputs are false. So let's look at the OR. That looks to be even worse. The NOT gate's not going to cut it. Exclusive OR won't do it. But if we come down here and we come to our NOR gate, this one looks like this good, because it says here, as you can see by the truth table, if input A is false and input B is false, the output is true. Otherwise, it gives an output of false. So that's perfect for the job. So let's select that, place that down there. Now let's wire it up. We'll take one from the left-hand sensor and one from the right-hand sensor. And now we want to send this to the left and right motor, because we want to tell both motors to be on. But I'll need to split it again, obviously. So we'll use another signal splitter. I'll link this up and now we'll link that up to the left motor and this one up to the right motor. There we go. But you'll now see we now have another problem. We can't link up our left rule and our right rule. We're going to need to do something which means we can send more than one message to the left motor and the right motor. Well, to do this, let's use another logic gate. Let's use an OR logic gate, because this says if either of the inputs are true, it will make its output true, and that'll be perfect for converging our two rules. So there we go. Let's link one up to this side, this OR gate, one up to this OR gate, and then the right motor that wants to go to the left. The right sensor that wants to tell the left motor what to do, and the other sensor wants to tell the right motor what to do. There we go. So if we hit the start button now, this should work. Let's give it a go. Oh, there we go. The robot's off. Oh, and now you can see when both sensors aren't detecting the black line, it's driving straight forward as we told it. So let's see if it can get around the corner and get to the end. I'll just run it into fast forward. There we go, it's tracking the line nicely. And across the finish line and into the wall. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little insight into the game and how to complete one of the levels. Subscribe if you want to see more videos about LogicBots, as I'll be uploading some more on some different levels. I might upload one with the maze level that I've created. Anyway, thanks for watching.